we discovering more issues as we go along. Now I know I got more ordering to do. We got both our parts. We got to hang out at a campground because we still got to figure out how to get that radiator support out, and then we got to figure out what the heck I'm gonna do with the bumper, and then also the thing that's underneath the air deflector that's supposed to help protect the engine. We're gonna start this video off with a good old-fashioned unboxing. This is my new base plate, which will allow me to tow my Ford Fiesta behind my RV, which is a Thor Majestic. If you are new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button. If you are returning, welcome back. If by chance you're tardy to the party and you don't even know what happened to my car or why I'm fixing it, be sure to check the links in the description. I will have videos that are related to everything that happened posted there. Another side note, when I first started filming, I had the intentions of doing a POV tutorial. However, y'all know how I am with these DIY projects. As I was doing the things, I realized that me posting a tutorial on anything was a dang on liability. I was finna get sued because I didn't even know what I was doing. So if you are looking for a tutorial, you are in the wrong place. Okay, this is not the channel for that. This is the channel you go to, the videos you watch when you want to know what it's like to go from watching a tutorial on YouTube to actually doing those repairs in real life. Now that I've done my due diligence and gotten my side note and my disclaimer out of the way, let's get back to the repairs. With the crash bar off, I can finally get that old damaged radiator support out. As a reminder, the radiator support has been taken out, the radiator fan, and air box. And the bumper that got taken off too, if you can't already tell. Now this is the part in the DIY project that I realized that I do not need to be making tutorials for nobody. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Every 5 seconds I was looking at the instructions, which were still confusing to me, by the way. The base plate itself is from eTrailer. This is not a sponsored video, I'm just letting you know. It apparently is a Demco base plate. It was the cheapest option that they offered. I went with eTrailer because they have a ton of videos online of their installations. However, I could not find one of this particular base plate, probably because it's the cheapest one that they have. Me and eTrailer, we got some beef. They don't know that, but I'm telling y'all now. Now this part of the process, when you're actually putting the crash bar back onto the vehicle, you're supposed to have a helper. But y'all know me, I'm a solo traveler, plus I like to do everything by myself, even if it makes things harder. I know. Anyway, so instead I just had to find assistance in any and everything that I can find in that barn. You see, I am using buckets. I'm also using jack stands to help me hold this crash bar while I get it into place to put the new radiator support in. We are now at the point in the DIY project in which I was just a little nervous because I am working with the AC condenser. I did not want to rupture those lines. I don't really know what's inside of it, but I know that it is bad for the environment, which means it's got to be bad for me. Another thing I should probably let you know, don't let the length of this section fool you. It took me forever to install the base plate, and it took me forever to get the crash bar back on. But I did come to my senses when all this was through, because I was like, we're not doing any more POV, we're not doing any tutorials, we just gonna go ahead and stick to the vlog. So back to the regular vlog style video. Now, before I put everything back on the car, I want to take advantage of the fact that I have extra space to work with. So as of now, I don't have the radiator in, I don't have the radiator fan in, obviously don't have the bumper, and that actually gives me access to the oil filter, which I can see from up here, and without the bumper being on, I can get underneath and possibly reach the little plug that I need to pull out in order to drain the oil. I purchased oil, so we might as well, and this will be another first knocked off of my bucket list. So the chickens here are coming of age. The rooster just got into his little voice, and he is now using it a lot more frequently. First couple of times that he did his little, it sounded all kind of cute and pathetic. Now it's definitely got that chicken testosterone in it. A little more aggressive, a little more annoying. Anyway, so I gotta take this off. Did that. Put that up there. Don't lose it. All right. First oil change. Here we go.
That don't seem like it should be that hard. Let's go the other way. Let me just see. Well, damn. Does that mean I won't be changing my oil? Hold on it. Wait. Ain't no way it's supposed to be on this dang on tight. Okay. This is a little discouraging. I got better tools. We're gonna try this again.
I was struggling so much with the oil drain plug that I had to get some help. At first we thought it was just the tools, but then my helper realized that it wasn't just the tools.
I feel like this is... I'm using the force.
Put your man hands.
I'm squeezing my abs and everything.
I see you lifting. I said, are you lifting?
Wait a minute. Hold on. It can't be this. This needs some olive oil or something. Something just don't seem right about this.
Might be a breaker part, but I don't know if you want me to give it a whirl.
Yeah, I would like for you to give it a whirl, because I done gave myself a hernia just now.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Yep. You need a breaker bar. There it is. Loose.
Oh. Well, it took...
Once you have a breaker bar on it, it's real easy. There it is. Done.
Alright, so he done loosened it up mostly. At least broke it free. I gotta get it all the way open so I can actually take it out. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Probably should move faster next time. In order to get this oil filter out, I got one of these remove tools. Now, I will say the person that I'm staying with has all the tools, so I got this from him. If this works, then I'll obviously purchase my own, but I'm gonna test it on the RV as well, just to make sure this is the one that works for both vehicles. Okay, see if we can get it up in there. Okay, now what? I think there's a step that I'm missing. Hold on, back to YouTube.
So first thing I'm gonna do is take my oil filter down. I have a catch pan.
Maybe this ain't the one for me, okay? You need to consider a different option. Oh, there we go. It's moving now. Do it again. There you go. Look at that. I took out the oil filter, y'all. I guess just put it right there. We're getting somewhere. All right, plug back in. Tighten it up. Now this time we want to go clockwise. Clockwise. Got it. Give it a little resistance. Then a half turn. All right, that's enough. I was already struggling the first time. Now the new filter. Since it's the first time I'm doing this, I went with everything that Ford tell you to get. So Motorcraft. My new filter. New oil. Now do I need to shake the oil? Sure, why not? Okay, all right, get this off. Gotta lube it up. Okay, I gotta open it first. And if you've never changed your oil before, what I learned is that they kind of have a measuring system on the actual thing. I was actually about to buy like a measuring cup for this, and then James, that's the guy who helped with a few of the steps of this process. He was like, it's on the container. Ain't no point in buying anything. You can gauge it from the container. I said, well, I'll be darned. There we go. You're supposed to put your finger all in the oil. Do one of those. Now they said you can use the clean oil or the dirty oil. It don't matter. As long as it's lubed up, moisturized. And this just needs to be hand tight. Put that on. Don't want to knock that over. Get that on there, move that out the way. We don't need that right now. Let's get back under it. All right. Use your abs. Where is it? There you go. That's hand tight. Got my owner's manual. Now, I've learned, let's say you have misplaced your manual or you don't have it. For me, I was able to go to the Ford website, put in my VIN number, and download it to my phone. So I have my owner's manual for the RV and my car on my phone for easy access. Found it. All right, so engine oil, I'm gonna need 4.3 quarts or red leather, yellow leather. I'm gonna need 4.3 quarts / 4.1. Okay. Oh, damn. I spilled it already. Okay, hold on. What's the proper angle? Whatever the technique is to pour this in without making a mess, I ain't got it. Check. Yeah, at least at 4. Yes? No, but it's good enough. Okay. There we go. Now I still got other stuff to do, such as make sure it ain't leaking and stuff. I gotta wait till the rest of the car put together. I've been working on this car for quite a while now. Now, granted, I did expand the project, and then I found out that there were more repairs that were necessary than what I originally expected. But I'm hoping today is going to be the last day of mechanical repairs. At this point, all I really need to do is put the car back together again. And then, of course, there's just 2 more other things that I want to do, which is just changing the cabin air filter and then the engine air filter. Now, mind you, this is just the mechanical stuff. I still have not figured out what we're going to do about that bumper, as well as the air deflector, which is attached to the bumper underneath. Haven't figured that out. I think I'm going to just go with plastic welding instead of trying to replace it. I can't afford that. But I'm sitting here watching my little go-to video, how to replace your radiator. They show you the process of taking everything out. That's what I use in order to do that portion of the project. And they also reverse it, show you how to put everything back in. So I'm just watching it over and over again just to make sure I feel confident, but I don't want to get too excited when I say it, but today may be the last day of mechanical repairs. Here we are. Final steps of the car. Well, mechanically speaking. This is the moment we find out if I did it or if I messed things up. Okay, actually I need to get these in here first. So these are little cushions that hold the radiator in place, and sadly one of them got beat up pretty bad. So I'm hoping that it will actually stay in place. This one here is bent up. See if it'll sit enough to keep it steady. Guess one thing I can do is put this down first. It's in there. Good thing is, at the very top, there's something that holds it in place at the top too. So I'm hoping that the 2 of them combined will keep it in place. Radiator first, figure out the perfect angle to get it in. You go back there, you scoot. There we go. We in there. Ish. We almost in there. So now we have our new to me fan. All about the angles. All about the angles. Snap sounds good. Snap sounds good. I'd say it looks normal so far. You just gotta connect our hoses, put some fluids in here, and then a few other things actually. A few other things. So moving along, continuing on. We got everything, radiator fans in place, not correctly aligned. Like I can tell there's some alignment issues. I can't figure out where exactly that is, but it's in there. And this is the new air filter.
I do have the box, the bottom half of the new box, well, new to me, box in there. And since we did our oil change, we'll put this in. Boom, that's changed. So all I had to do, I've been paying people to do that. Gotta get our lid back on. Just gotta remember what direction to go in. The chickens are in here again. I don't know why they keep coming in here with me. I don't understand. What are y'all mechanics? Where are you mechanics in your old life? Some of the stuff. Can you get off, please? Excuse me. Excuse me. That's what I'm dealing with. Excuse me. Thank you. Why y'all in here? Okay, you better not poop on none of my stuff. I got my hoses in place. Hopefully. Everything else is in place. Hopefully. The last thing that I need, or I will be doing, is turning the battery or connecting the battery back in. But I gotta check to see for engine coolant. I need a total of 6.1 quarts. Okay, don't make a mess. Don't make a mess. Don't make a mess. I reached the max fill line, so I think I should stop. Guess we'll go ahead and attach the battery now. Let's see what happens. I need my car key. Dang it. Alright, well, at least we know the battery is on. Let's turn this on. Yep. We're gonna let the car run a little bit so I can check the oil level and then of course check the coolant level. But at least it turns back on. So far no leaks. I already know I need to add more oil. I already know that. Just trying to figure out how much more. I think we there. I think this may have been a successful DIY project. Fingers still crossed, because I still got to put the bumper on or get it at least in place, and then figure out where I'm gonna be cutting the bumper in order to get this base plate to stick out. So there's still more to this project, but at least the car is mainly back together and it turned back on. Most of the mechanical work has been done, I think. But today we're going to finish up the last little things that I wanted to do to the car, maintenance wise, and then also do the final touches on the cosmetic. Well, at least like kind of the final touches, just enough to get the car on the road, okay? Now, this is the cabin air filter. I will be replacing that, and this car is down here. So right now it's probably a little too dark for y'all to actually see. And one thing that I had purchased a while ago, because every time I would go to a mechanic, they never had the stickers. And by going to the mechanic, I mainly talk about like if I needed an oil change, they never had the stickers. So at some point I'm just gonna have to buy stickers because I'm not gonna remember. I got some of these stickers that I'm gonna leave in the car, and I got some of the stickers that I'm gonna leave in the RV. Because now that I'm a mechanic now, anytime the oil change needs to be done, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and pop my sticker on so I know when the next one needs to be done. And of course, I'm also gonna reset the car so that can give me the heads up as well. I'm also gonna use these stickers to let me know when I need to change the filters again, because the cabin filter, the engine filter, and let's say like the oil filter, I don't think they're on the same schedule. We're gonna check, because as you can see, I got the user manual right here. So we're gonna check. But just to be safe, I'm gonna probably have stickers all over this car in little areas for me, so I can see where they are, showing what the mileage is now or when it needs to be changed, just so I have that information easily accessible, because it definitely ain't gonna be in the memory bank, that's for sure. So let's first start off with this, getting this in here, and then I'm gonna show y'all how we gonna work on repairing the bumper cover, or at least partially repairing it for now. Woo, we got it. Now from here, there's 5 places that will need to be, 5 screws that I need to take off.
That's 2 out of 5. All right, now let's look at getting this filter out. Let's see how bad it is. You can tell there's been cats in this car. I can see the cat here already. And there we go. Cabin air filter. Time for you to go. You can see the cat here. Well, I'm not gonna say just cat hair, pet hair. And now this is where people are like, this is the unfun part. Getting it in. There's just like certain ways you gotta bend it to get this thing in. Making his way in there. Let me try to get a look-see up in here. You gotta get intimate with your vehicle sometimes. I don't think we in there. Cabin air filter. We can go ahead and check that off. That is done. As you can see, we had to change things up a little bit. First off, I got cold. Okay, it's windy and it's cold. Then after getting cold, you know, put on an extra layer, and I was pulling out the bumper in order to start the next part of this project. In order to do the next part, I need aluminum foil tape, which I have, but I couldn't find it. So I had to tear this RV up, only to realize that it was not inside, it was actually outside. I put it away, but I didn't put it like where I thought I put it away, which was in the car. I thought I put it in the car because I needed it for a car project, but instead it was actually in the garage of the RV. So that was another delay. Then after all that, I got hungry. So then I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to finish doing this. I'm going to finish the rest of this tomorrow. But then I also was like, I really want to get as much of this done tonight as possible. So now we switching everything up. I have on my layers now. I found that extra piece of material that I need. I had time to eat. And then I got everything from out of the barn, and it's currently outside the RV. And I'm going to try to do what needs to be done next here inside. So I'm about to pull my bumper inside this RV, and we're going to see if we can make it work. Now, the bad thing about this idea is I am going to be melting plastic in order to do the repairs, as well as using epoxy, and it should be done in a well-ventilated area. I don't think a 30-foot RV necessarily qualifies, but I'm gonna try to keep these windows open, which is gonna make it colder. And I can also pull out a fan and then have it so the air is exiting outside of the RV. So that's the plan there. And let's just hope this works. Gotta go get the materials. You can kind of see how dark it is. It's dark out there. It's nighttime, cold nighttime. I got everything in the wheelbarrow just outside the RV. Let's go get it though. Let's get this going.
While I'm pulling this car bumper into my RV, do note that I did work on the bumper just a bit previously. There were a few dents in the bumper because of the impact of hitting a tree stump that I was able to work out using a blow dryer.
Luckily, I have already cleaned the bumper cover, and I cleaned it because usually on bumper covers, one of the things that you can find is the type of plastic that it's made out of, and that's needed for what I'm trying to do, which is what they call plastic welding. Now, it's possible that it is on this bumper cover, but usually, per the internet, you should be able to find the type of plastic near the product number and like the made in this country, all that information. However, I can't find that anywhere on this dang old thing, which is why I decided to also do epoxy instead of just plastic welding. But it is possible because I haven't removed all of the attachments. Like the one that was here, I removed. The one that is in front of where the fog lights would be, I removed on the side that's cracked. It could be written somewhere under here, but I didn't feel like taking the other two that are on here off. Now, of course, everything else on here, like there's plastic here,
This is a section of plastic. This is a section of plastic. Everything else I can find what type of plastic it is. It's just a bumper cover that I couldn't find that information. I even called Ford dealership. They didn't know. I called Ford Collision. They didn't know. I called Ford customer service. They didn't know. The internet is back and forth. Some say it's ABS, something somewhere else I'll find, and it says like TPO plastic. So I'm just like, screw it. If you're not familiar with plastic welding, you're going to get an idea of what it is. And luckily, I have a welder. Don't know why, because I guarantee you I didn't buy it. I don't know how I got a welder, but I have a welder, and I've had it for a while. And I feel like, you know, a friend probably gave me tools and was like, here you go. And I was obviously going to take it, and luckily I held on to it because now I have use for this. But this is going to come in handy, and I had to buy some additional items in order to make this work since I had the welder. So I have these attachments that are intended for plastic welding, and then we also have another material which is going to help give it some structure. So that's the plastic welding portion, or the products that we need for the plastic welding. And all it is just like melting the plastic together where it's ripped, torn, or cracked to kind of get it to mend. Then we're going to sand it down because we got to get it non-shiny. Then we're going to throw some epoxy on it. All that's going to go on the back. Now, if I really want to go all out, I can also do the same process on the front. We're not going to worry about that just yet. We just want to be able to get this bumper back on the car so I can finally drive around. The aluminum foil tape, which took me forever to find, is going on the outside of the bumper to help give me some shaping, and it also will resist the welding. I am drilling holes into the bumper where it's completely cracked and using zip ties in order to patch everything together. And I guess it is used by street racers because it's called drift stitching. At this point in the process, I'm using the original tip on the welder just to get things started. I will later switch to the plastic welding tips in order to complete the process. I'm now applying the stainless steel mesh and using the welder in order to melt the plastic around the mesh. If by chance you do this process, wear gloves, because by the end of this, I had mesh splinters, so protect your hands. So the question is, did I finish everything last night like I intended? No, I did not. I had the door open because I knew that safety-wise, I wasn't making the best of the decision. So I had the door open, had the exhaust fan on. It was so cold last night. I was freezing. I was cold. The fur babies was cold. Technically, I was still breathing in fumes. And you know what? Just removed technically. I was straight up still breathing in fumes, and I just had to call it a night. Next part of the process is going to be hitting the bumper cover with some epoxy. Then, while we're in the midst of everything, I have a few other additional pieces that need some weld. I am now prepping the bumper and the plastic for the epoxy. I have to make sure that it's not shiny, which is why I have to sand it. For some extra structure, I am using drywall tape in addition to the steel mesh that we have, and I also use some extra plastic, even though I don't know what type of plastic the bumper is made out of. But I figured since the epoxy was going on it, it shouldn't be a problem, but don't take my word on that. This is what it looks like as it's drying. It gets bright green when it's done. New day for me, same day for you. Hopefully this will be the last day that I will be talking about this bumper, talking about these car repairs. I'm hoping to finish this up today, and I've been saying that for like 87 weeks, but please let this be the actual day. Last night I finished up mending up all the additional plastic pieces. They are pretty much good to go. Are they perfect? Of course not. Why? Because perfection is not real. It is just a goal. It is not a reality. So we have the grill. I did have to actually cut this because
We need additional spacing for the base plate. The headlight, I was able to get that piece back on. It looks a little crazy, but it'll do. I mean, it's on there. I just need to make sure this thing is secured once I screw it back into the vehicle. And what else do we have to fix? We also had to fix the air deflector, which I was able to fix the holes on the air deflector, but that one little section that was all ripped up and torn, I did try to mend it a little bit by turning on the heat gun and try to press it into place. It didn't really work. I was thinking about going all out and like cutting a piece from this right here, the radiator support, and then trying to like mold it into place. That is not even necessary. That thing is underneath the car. So I'm going to go ahead and wheelbarrow all my stuff into the barn, see if I can get everything put back together. Of course, I'm gonna still be pulling out some YouTube videos on how to put the bumper back on. And I think there's just like a few more tweaks that I need to make to the vehicle in order to get the base plate completely prepped and ready.
So, things aren't going as planned as usual. By the way, this is rice, chicken liver, and syrup. It may sound disgusting, but it's quite delicious. So here's all the hiccups that we have run into, all the delays. I get the bumper on, and things aren't lining up properly. So then I have to take the bumper off because what I'm guessing at this point in time is that where the base plate is and where that grill that they come out of is laid, it's not falling, it's not sitting where it's supposed to sit. So the base plate is essentially holding the bumper up. So I take that off. I just take the whole thing off. Then I put the bumper back on. Once again, a struggle, but I'm getting better with figuring out where my hands need to be placed in order to get these screws in and out. So each time I take it off and put it on, take it off and put it on, is a little faster than it was the time before. So then I get the bumper back on again, and I realize that the hood's not closing. I was having issues with the hood closing before I put the bumper on. So I was like, maybe something's wrong with the latch itself. So I take the latch off, put some WD-40 on it, thinking like maybe that is the problem. But what I'm noticing is the lights are now sitting properly. But when I go to put the hood down, the hood is essentially sitting on the bumper. It's not bite. It was like an overbite with the hood. And then I'm looking at the hood again, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to have to take this whole thing off. So I look at the base plate area again, and I'm just like, you know what? I feel like that's still the problem. So I actually went and cut pushes of the bumper where paint actually is in order to get clearance for the base plate. That does work. The hood, you do see that the hood shifts down, and then I go to close it. I slammed it down. I was like, oh yes, perfect. It actually went through both locks. The top one, which is the yellow, and then the one that is the really important one so that they didn't go flying open when you're driving on the highway. I go inside the car to unlatch or do the hood release, nothing. And that's the moment when I realized that I never put the cable back on. So right now where we are is, I think the bumper is sitting where it's supposed to be. However, the bumper has been cut as well as the grill completely removed. But I have to figure out how to get the hood open without the cable being connected. I got underneath the hood, and I feel like it's a possibility that I may be able to reach some of that stuff from underneath the car and then lifting up, but I can't see anything. It's dark out. I can't see a thing. So tomorrow, the goal is to see if I can get the hood open so I can continue with putting the car back together. It's still not together all the way. I just finally got the bumper in place at a spot where I think it's supposed to be. But goodness gracious, why are these projects so annoying?
The plan for today, to see if I can try to get this hood unlocked, is to get underneath, use the endoscope as an extra set of eyes.
Okay, it's very tight space under here.
Essentially what I'm trying to do is get my hand where the fan is, the radiator fan, use my little camera here, see if I can see where everything is. Let's see what we got here. This is what we're using. First thing I'm trying to look for is that yellow tab 'Cause right now, all I see is just various grays. I didn't locate the yellow tab, but I did locate the lock. So the white part, probably, I mean, not having it the right side up don't really matter. That white part is the hood. That's the part of the hood that locks into place. And we're looking at the locking system. So technically I can reach the latch. But now I gotta try to figure out what is what, since I'm looking at it from, you know, from upside down and whatnot. Oh, you know, and the funny thing is, in this you can also see the hook. It's in the area, it looks like, but hold on. It actually looks like the hook is on. Man, I wish somebody was in the car right now to pull the hood release. Okay, so this right here, that's the cable. This is the cable. This is the black portion here. Then this silver part is like the end of the cable. It looks like it is in place. It looks like I did put it back. I don't understand why that hood release didn't work though. I got questions. Okay, so current update. I literally have my hand on the cable. And although it was sat in the somewhat in position, I didn't latch it. So it was put in its holder and it was semi in place. But there is a little piece that needs to be connected, and I can feel it, like I'm literally touching the cable, and I'm trying to see if it's possible to get it from this angle. Well, you can see my fingers, and this is the metal piece that needs to be on. Let me see, can y'all see? That's the, I'm holding it, and there's a little, that metal clip, wait, can you, that needs to, wait, push it over. Trying to get y'all a view. You can almost see it. See this little area that they need to be connected. We so close, but yet so far. I think I might have it latched. Ooh. Ooh. Yes. Oh, baby. Woo! Goodness gracious. We got it. Look how we had everything set up. Okay, so here's the light. This piece right here. So it was in place here, but this wasn't properly locked in. So what I had to do while underneath, I had to take this out of its spot in order to get this back in. Whew, okay. Okay. Good news. That's the good news. Bad news is I gotta take this damn bumper off again. Y'all. So when I put on the bumper cover, I did not include this portion because I thought I'd be able to put it on once the bumper was on. That is not correct. This needs to be put on the bumper first, and then the bumper cover and this need to go on. So now I gotta take it off again. I don't even know how many times I done took this damn bumper cover off, but like I said, with each go around, I get a little bit faster, so that's a plus. And then let me show you how much I had to cut into the car in order to get everything to sit down. And this is how everything is currently sitting. As you can see, I had to cut in quite a bit in order to get this to finally sit properly. But essentially it was up here, and with the bumper being up here, nothing would close up here. Nothing was sitting right. The headlights weren't sitting right. The bumper, this was so far up that the hood would just sit essentially on top. So, I mean, at least we're getting a little bit closer to hopefully getting this all situated. pretty much got the bumper off in record time. Well, definitely my record at least. Now we gotta get this thing back on and then put the bumper on again. Back together. So we are going to go ahead and check the fluids again. I can already see that 80 degrees were good as far as levels on that. I checked the engine oil one more time just to see where we are with that. And because I'm nervous, I'm just going to drive it around the property. And then we're going to graduate to driving it around the neighborhood and then driving it around regularly. We are finally done. That was definitely a doozy, but I learned a lot. I definitely did learn a lot in the process. I'm not going to say I necessarily understand cars. I wouldn't go that far. However, there's a lot of things that I was a little confused about before that I now think I have a better grasp on. And I am excited about attempting other repairs on my car. As usual, I realize that these DIY projects are definitely teaching me patience. I am not a very patient person, but with every project that I do, I have to exercise patience. This is something that, of course, in the shop, they probably could have done in a day or two. It took me several days, but that's because I'm watching a whole bunch of videos. I'm learning things as I go. When I have questions, I'm going back to YouTube, watching more videos. Then there's the back and forth of ordering parts, driving around looking for parts. Definitely added a lot of time to the process, but there were quite a few repairs that I did, quite a few things as far as regular maintenance that I did that I now know moving forward I can do myself. And that makes it worth all the frustration that I was dealing with throughout the rest of this process. But I still gotta make sure the car actually works. So once again, thanks for sticking with me during this whole process. Hope you learned something or at least got a little inspiration where that project that you've been holding off on because you can't quite afford to have it done professionally, maybe you will do it yourself. I hope so. Good luck on that project, and I will see you next time.